sound of heavy rain and distant thunder. Rain washes everything clean except the past. The thunder cracks, splitting the sky over the isolated countryside. A single car, headlights cutting through the gloom, splashes through muddy puddles on a narrow forest road. Inside are 4 college friends, Evan, Lily, Arjun and Sarah. They're on their way to spend what they think will be a cozy, rainy weekend at Evan's late grandfather's cabin. A little escape from the city. A little time together. The windshield wipers squeak, fighting a losing battle against the downpour. The rhythm is hypnotic, almost unnerving. A sudden, blinding flash of lightning illuminates the world in a stark, skeletal white. For just a split second, it reveals a small, furry silhouette lying in the middle of the road. "Whoa, stop!" Evan yells, slamming on the brakes. The car skids, tires screeching against the wet asphalt, stopping just inches from the figure. They all lean forward, peering through the rain-streaked glass. What was it, an animal? They cautiously open their doors, the sound of the storm rushing in. Stepping out into the cold, wet air, they approach the object. It's a doll, a Labubu doll to be exact. It's soaked to the bone, its fur matted down with mud and rainwater, but its face is fixed in a wide, painted-on smile, and clutched in its hand, tangled around its little arm, is a single, blood-red thread. Lily laughs, a nervous, high-pitched sound that gets lost in the wind. "Well, that's creepy. But it's kind of cute, right?" She picks it up, brushing off some of the mud. Arjun shivers, pulling his jacket tighter. "I don't know, Lily. Maybe we should just leave it." "No way, it's a collectible. Someone probably lost it," she argues, already heading back to the car. "We can't just leave it here to rot." They toss it onto the back seat, a damp, furry passenger among their bags. As Evan closes the door, another flash of lightning fills the car. For a heartbeat, the doll's glass eyes seem to glint, catching the light in a way that looks less like a reflection and more like it's awake, watching them. A few miles later, the cabin comes into view, a dark, hulking shape swallowed by the fog and the ancient trees. The rain pounds on the old tin roof, a relentless, drumming heartbeat. Inside, it's just as dark, smelling of dust, damp wood, and forgotten memories. "Home, sweet home," Evan mutters, flicking a switch. A few weak bulbs flicker to life, casting long, dancing shadows. While the others start unpacking and trying to get a fire going, Evan's curiosity leads him to the attic. He finds a dusty, leather-bound box filled with his grandfather's old possessions. There are faded photos of people he doesn't recognize, strange wooden carvings of animals and faces, and at the very bottom, a small, worn journal. Embossed on the cover are 3 words: "The Binding Ritual." He blows the dust off and opens it. The handwriting is shaky, the ink faded. He reads the first entry aloud to himself. "The spirit binds itself to what is loved most. Destroy the thread and it takes your soul with it." A chill, colder than the rain outside, snakes down his spine. What thread? Meanwhile, downstairs, the Labubu doll sits on a wooden shelf where Lily placed it. It's still dripping, a small puddle forming beneath it. And unnoticed by anyone, the single red thread has unspooled from its hand. It stretches, impossibly long, across the floorboards, disappearing into the shadows of the hallway, inching its way toward the room where Sarah is setting up her bed. That night the storm rages. Thunder roars so loud the cabin shakes. And through the noise, carried on the wind, whispers begin to echo in the dark corners of the house, whispers that sound like a child. "Play with me." Sarah's eyes snap open. She's paralyzed with fear. Something is heavy on her chest. She looks down. The doll is sitting there, right on top of her. Its smile seems wider now, crueler, and the red thread, glowing faintly in the dark, is tightening around her wrist. She tries to scream, but no sound comes out. By morning, the storm has lessened to a steady, miserable drizzle, but the real storm is just beginning. Sarah is gone. They search the cabin, their calls echoing in the empty rooms. Evan's voice is frantic. "Sarah, this isn't funny." It's Lily who finds her. Outside, lying in the mud, drenched from the overnight rain. Her eyes are wide open, staring blankly at the grey sky. Her lips are curved into a grotesque smile, because her mouth has been crudely sewn shut with a thick red yarn. Panic erupts. Arjun doubles over, sick to his stomach. Lily is sobbing, her cries swallowed by the oppressive silence of the forest. Evan stands frozen, his mind reeling, and then he sees it, the doll. It's standing in the open doorway of the cabin, no longer on its shelf, just standing there. In one hand it holds a small gleaming needle. As if on cue, a final deafening crack of thunder sounds directly overhead. The lights in the cabin flicker and die, plunging them into near total darkness. The air grows heavy, thick, and suffocating. The raindrops hammering against the windows suddenly sound different. They sound less like rain and more like laughter. Stumbling back inside, Evan frantically lights a candle and grabs his grandfather's journal. His hands are shaking so badly he can barely turn the pages. He finds another passage. It was carved from a child's bones. The rain feeds it. The thread connects the living to the dead. His blood runs cold. A child's bones. Suddenly, a dark, viscous liquid begins to bleed from the wooden walls. It's not blood. It's rainwater, seeping through the very structure of the house. And then the doll's laughter echoes all around them, high-pitched, metallic, and endless. "We have to burn it," Arjun screams, snatching the doll from the doorway. He shoves it into the fireplace, fumbling with a lighter. A small flame catches. For a second, there's hope, but then the flame sputters and goes out, smothered by a sudden downpour that begins to fall inside the cabin. The floorboards swell and groan. The red thread, impossibly fast, slithers up Arjun's leg, wrapping around his throat. He lets out a choked, gurgling scream, and the single candlelight flickers out, plunging them into absolute blackness. The camera, which had been recording on a tripod, drops to the floor. The world spins. It catches one last image in a flash of light. 3 lifeless bodies sitting at the dining table, their heads tilted unnaturally toward the door. Lily, Arjun, and Sarah, somehow back inside. The doll is gone. The last one left, Evan, bursts out of the cabin and runs blindly into the storm. The forest is a nightmare. It's alive with whispers. The trees twist into monstrous shapes. Shadows dart and move in his peripheral vision. He trips and falls, landing next to the doll. He grabs it, his mind completely broken, and screams at the top of his lungs, "What do you want?" A child's voice replies softly, right next to his ear. "To finish the game." He looks down. The doll's eyes are glowing with a malevolent red light, and all around him, from every tree, every branch, every root, thousands of red threads rise from the mud, like veins pulsing in the rain. The next morning, the rain has stopped. The sun is trying to break through the clouds. Police cars line the muddy forest road. They find the cabin empty, the car abandoned. There's no sign of the 4 friends. The only thing left is the camera, lying in the mud, soaked but somehow still recording. An officer picks it up and plays back the footage. He watches the horror unfold. As the final garbled frames end, the screen flickers to black. And then, one last image appears. A live feed. It's the doll, sitting in the mud, its painted smile fixed on the camera. Its single red thread unspools from its hand, stretching forward, getting closer and closer to the lens. Some storms never pass. Thank you for joining us for another tale from the dark room. If you want to hear the next whisper, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Sleep tight.